Hey, if you're tired of seeing your money disappear before the month even ends, or if you feel like you're working hard but never manage to achieve that financial stability you dream of, you need to pay attention. Today, I'm going to share something with you that can change the game. 15 habits that can double your monthly income. Yes, double. And it's not magic, it's pure strategy. I know how frustrating it is to live with the constant fear of not having enough money to achieve your dreams, always feeling one step behind, as if your efforts are never rewarded. But the good news is, there is a way out. And it starts with these habits that millionaires use to ensure their money not only grows but keeps working for them. In this video, I'm going to show you exactly how to do that. So, if you want to put an end to this financial insecurity once and for all and finally build a life where money isn't a problem, stick with me. These 15 habits are the key to transforming your situation and putting you on the path to financial freedom. And now, let's get to the first habit. But before that, make sure you're subscribed to the channel, because the upcoming videos will be part of a series of content that will help you transform your financial life for the better. You know that great feeling of starting the day before everyone else, like you have a magic secret? Well, one of the most powerful habits you can have is waking up early. Imagine the day as a big race, and when you wake up before others, it's like you're already one step ahead at the starting line. Think about it. While the world is still sleeping, you have precious time just for yourself. And what you do with that time is what really matters. For example, imagine you're a detective preparing for an important case. If you wake up early, you can study the city map, set up your plan, and even review your clues before the other detectives wake up. That's pretty much how the wealthy approach their mornings. They wake up, have some coffee, maybe do some exercise, and then plan their day as if they're drawing a treasure map. Meanwhile, those who wake up later often feel like they're chasing time, never quite catching up. Now, it's not just about opening your eyes early and lazing around. If you get up early, you need to use that time in a way that gives you superpowers. Maybe you can read something inspiring, write about your dreams, or even think about how to conquer the world, like a hero planning their next adventure. It might seem tough at first, especially if you love staying cozy in bed. But do you know what happens over time? Your body and mind adjust, and you start to see that waking up early makes you more prepared and full of energy. So, the next time your alarm goes off, remember, it's your chance to be the smartest detective or the most prepared hero in town. Waking up early is like discovering a secret time that only those who know how to use can turn into real achievements. Let's imagine you received a special gift, a magical little plant that can grow and turn into a tree full of golden fruit. But here's the secret. It only grows if you take good care of it and don't spend all your time watering weeds. What does this mean? Well, when it comes to money, it's super important to understand the difference between what helps you grow, assets, and what drains your energy, liabilities. Let's simplify. An asset is like that magical plant. It gives you fruit, meaning it puts more money in your pocket. It could be something like an apartment you rent out, a book you wrote that people keep buying, or a business that consistently brings profit. A liability, on the other hand, is like a weed. It takes money away from you, like a house you have to pay for every month or an expensive car that only creates expenses. If you spend your time and energy taking care of the weeds, you'll never have a tree full of golden fruit. Let me tell you a little story. Imagine Pedro and John earn the same salary. Every month, Pedro buys expensive things that don't generate more money, like a new phone or designer clothes. These things are liabilities, and in the end, Pedro is always broke. John, on the other hand, uses part of his money to invest in a lemonade stand he opened in the neighborhood. That stand is an asset because it makes money every day, even when John is resting. After a while, John has plenty of money, while Pedro still has none. The trick is simple. Focus on assets, things that make your money grow and work for you, like John's lemonade stand. Avoid spending everything on liabilities, like Pedro does. If you understand this, you'll have a plantation of magical trees in the future and never have to worry about running out of golden fruit. Have you ever heard of that famous difference between the rich and the poor when it comes to spending money? It has nothing to do with luck, but with a very smart way of using money. The third habit that can change your life is to pay for luxuries only with the money generated by your assets. This might sound a bit complicated, but I'll explain it simply. Many people dream of having luxurious things, like a new car, a huge house, or that giant, latest generation TV. But what happens with most people is that when they make some money, the first thing they do is spend it on these luxuries without thinking much about what it means for their future. And then, do you know what happens? They end up broke and, even worse, with more bills to pay. It's like a cycle that never ends. The rich do it differently. They never use the money they earn from work to buy luxuries. First, they invest in assets that generate more money. For example, instead of spending their entire salary on a new car, they buy a property they can rent out. When that property starts making enough money to pay for the car's installments, then they treat themselves to the luxury of buying it. This way, even if the car loses value or costs money, the asset they bought before continues generating income. It's a powerful concept. Let your assets pay for your luxuries. That way, you ensure your financial foundation stays secure and money keeps coming in. If you really want to achieve financial freedom, this is one of the most important secrets. Prioritize growing your money through investments first, and then, if you want, you can buy things that make you happy without worrying about running out of money. This way, you'll always be increasing your wealth instead of depleting it. Now let's talk about something that can completely change the way you see life: the entitlement mentality. Have you noticed that some people act as if the world owes them everything? They expect things to be handed to them on a silver platter, as if they're entitled to success and wealth without putting in any effort. This kind of thinking can be extremely dangerous, and I'm going to explain why. The wealthy teach their children from an early age that the world doesn't work that way. Even if you're born into a family with money, it doesn't mean things will always be easy. In fact, it's quite the opposite. If you don't learn to create your own wealth and sustain yourself, the family money can run out quickly. There's even a saying that family wealth usually doesn't last more than 3 generations. The first generation works hard to build wealth, the second tries to maintain it, but the third often loses everything due to a lack of discipline and responsibility. That's why it's so important to understand that you are not entitled to anything unless you work for it. This doesn't mean you can't dream big or want nice things. Of course, you can. But you have to be willing to put in the effort, learn, and grow to achieve what you desire. When you have this mindset, it becomes much easier to reach your goals because you know that everything depends on your own actions. People with an entitlement mentality tend to stay stagnant, waiting for something to fall from the sky. But those who know they need to work hard are always on the move, creating opportunities and building a better future. This difference in attitude is what separates those who accomplish great things from those who remain stuck. So never forget, the world doesn't owe you anything, but you have the power to create whatever you want if you're willing to put in the effort. Have you ever heard of this habit? Have you experienced this or know someone who lives like this? Share it in the comments, and I'll help you out. Now, let's talk about something that can totally change your life: being sociable and connecting with others. Have you ever thought about how a simple conversation can open doors you never even imagined existed? Successful people understand this very well. They know that it's not enough to be good at what they do. It's essential to build relationships that can help them grow. The wealthy know that connections can make life easier and bring enormous advantages. If you are sociable, the world responds. Teachers treat you better, colleagues recommend you for jobs, and people want to be around you. It's not magic. It's about building relationships. Be like Lucas. Take the first step to meet someone new, even if it feels uncomfortable at first. The impact of that could be greater than you imagine. Maybe your next friend will be the bridge to a dream you didn't even know you could reach. Connecting with people is a secret to a life full of possibilities and achievements. Now let's talk about a mistake many people make: expecting immediate results. In today's world, we're used to having everything instantly. Want to watch a movie? Just open the streaming service. Want to eat something? One click on the delivery app solves it. We are so immersed in this culture of instant gratification that we forget that building wealth and happiness is a long-term game, with no shortcuts. The truth is that most people want to get rich quickly. They dream of winning the lottery, receiving an unexpected inheritance, or finding a magical formula that brings fortune overnight. But even if they somehow got a large sum of money, they often don't have the financial education needed to keep it. That's a huge problem because, without planning, everything you've achieved can disappear in the blink of an eye. That's why the wealthy teach the importance of thinking long-term and preparing for the future. Think about planting a tree. When you put the seed in the ground, it doesn't grow overnight. You need to water it, take care of it, and be patient until it becomes a big, strong tree capable of bearing fruit. Financial life is the same. Bill Gates said, most people overestimate what they can do in 1 year and underestimate what they can do in 10. In other words, the secret is to make long-term plans and act consistently. If you really want to get rich, you need to stop expecting magic and start thinking in terms of decades, not weeks. Plan your future calmly, invest in your financial education, and make choices that will benefit you in the long run. That's what separates people who thrive from those who are always looking for quick fixes. Think big, be patient, and make every action today work for your future. Now, let's talk about something incredibly powerful that transforms people's lives: creating good daily habits. It may seem simple, but the difference between those who succeed and those who remain stagnant is directly linked to the habits they cultivate every day. Habits are like small decisions you make repeatedly until they become part of your natural behavior. And the amazing thing is that these decisions, when chosen wisely, can open up huge opportunities for you in the future. If you want to have a healthy financial life, you need to start paying attention to your habits. For example, instead of wasting time on social media without purpose, how about developing the habit of reading books that expand your financial mindset? If you always procrastinate on important tasks, you can create a system to start your tasks early, turning that into a habit that boosts your productivity. The point is that consistent habits produce impressive long-term results. Here's a secret: it takes about 21 days to form a new habit. At first, it's hard, and it feels like you're forcing something that doesn't make sense. But if you can get past that initial phase, what once seemed complicated starts to fit naturally into your routine. That's how successful people stay on top. They consciously choose habits that bring them closer to their goals, like exercising regularly, planning their finances, or seeking new learning opportunities. Meanwhile, those who lack this growth mindset end up developing habits that hinder their chances of progress, like impulsive spending or living without planning for the future. If you want to build a solid foundation for your life, start now by thinking about which habits you need to adjust. Don't underestimate the power of small daily actions. Over time, they accumulate into a massive positive impact that can completely change your path. Now it's time to address a point that many people don't realize. Money is just a tool. Many people grow up hearing that money is the root of all evil, but that view is completely misguided. In fact, the way you perceive money can directly influence your ability to create wealth. People who associate money with something negative often feel uncomfortable with the idea of earning more and end up pushing away opportunities to prosper. On the other hand, the wealthy understand that money has no moral value. It's simply a resource. Think of money as a hammer. A hammer can be used to build a house or, recklessly, to hurt someone. The problem isn't with the hammer, but with how it's used. Similarly, money can improve your quality of life or become a problem, depending on your choices. Successful people treat money as a tool that allows them to create opportunities, invest in their dreams, and provide security for the future. They know that money alone doesn't bring happiness, but it helps achieve a lifestyle that can. It's essential to change the way you think about money. If you see it as something bad, your brain will unconsciously work to stay away from it. But if you understand that money is a means to achieve your goals, everything changes. Start thinking about money practically. It can be used to invest in education, start a business, or create experiences that add value to your life. It's neutral. What matters is how you use it. Therefore, if you want to build a prosperous life, start viewing money from a different perspective. It's not your enemy, nor something to be feared. It's a powerful tool that, when used wisely, can open doors and create a better future for you and those around you. Now let's dive into one of the most important habits that the wealthy cultivate. Focusing on increasing income rather than just reducing expenses. Sure, it's great to save where you can, but if your only concern is cutting costs, you'll never have an abundant financial life. People who accumulate wealth know there's a limit to how much they can save, but there's no limit to how much they can earn. That's where the difference lies. Most people with fewer resources spend a lot of time thinking about ways to cut costs, like canceling subscriptions or avoiding eating out. While that's useful in some cases, this mindset alone isn't enough to become wealthy. In contrast, the wealthy prefer to focus their energy on finding new ways to generate income. They ask themselves, how can I create more value? Or what skills can I develop to increase my earnings? This growth mindset is what leads them to find creative solutions and seek investments that yield returns. Think of it this way. If you spend your entire life focused on saving, you end up living in fear of spending and with a constant sense of scarcity. But when you focus on increasing your income, the game changes. You start thinking of ways to earn more, whether by negotiating a raise at work, learning a new skill that makes you more valuable, or investing in projects that can generate more money. This approach creates a sense of abundance because you know you can always find ways to improve your financial situation. So, instead of obsessively worrying about saving every penny, focus on generating more income. Make it a goal to develop a plan to increase your earnings and diversify your income sources. When you prioritize growth over scarcity, opportunities begin to appear, and you feel more in control of your financial life. Now let's talk about one of the most valuable concepts you can learn. Investing in knowledge is more important than accumulating money. Think of it this way. If you had to choose between receiving a large sum of money now or acquiring skills that could make you earn money repeatedly, which would you choose? Rich people know that knowledge is the real treasure because, with it, you can always generate more wealth. Knowledge works like this. It multiplies and turns into opportunities. When you invest in learning something new, whether it's a technical skill, a language, or how to manage your finances, you become more valuable to the world. And the world rewards those who are valuable because these people solve problems and create solutions that everyone needs. That's why the wealthy continuously invest in themselves and teach this to their children. They understand that the value you bring to the market is directly tied to how much you can earn. What can you do? Invest in yourself. Learn something new, take courses, read books that expand your vision, or develop a skill that makes you stand out. It's like planting seeds that will grow and bear fruit over time. The more you learn, the more options you have in life. And the best part is that this knowledge can never be taken away from you. Like Lucas, you'll be building a foundation that allows you to grow and prosper. Now let's discuss one of the most important secrets to wealth: making money work for you. Many people spend their lives trading time for money, working endless hours for a salary that barely covers expenses. But the wealthy know that if they want financial freedom, they need to make money work for them. Think of two scenarios. In the first, you work every day without rest, because if you stop, the money stops coming in. In the second, you create income streams that keep generating money, even while you sleep or travel. That's what it means to make money work for you. Instead of relying solely on your job, you build a system where the money you earn is reinvested smartly, generating even more money. How does this work in practice? It's simple. Instead of spending all your salary on things that depreciate, you use part of it to invest. It could be in stocks, real estate funds, or even starting a business that can grow. When these investments start generating profit, you no longer have to worry about constantly working to support yourself. It's like creating small money machines that keep running while you live your life. Many people think you need a lot of money to start investing, but that's a myth. Nowadays, you can start investing with small amounts and increase as you learn more. The important thing is to start now. The earlier you invest, the more time your money has to grow and work for you. The goal is to free up your time by creating a source of passive income. Every penny you invest today can generate income tomorrow, and that income can be reinvested to create even more opportunities. Over time, money works so well that you gain the freedom to do what you want without being tied to exchanging time for a salary. It's a powerful cycle that completely transforms your financial life. Another essential point for achieving financial freedom is understanding that solving problems is the fastest way to get rich. Many people choose the safe route of jobs that pay by the hour or for specific tasks, but the rich have a different approach. They focus on solving significant problems. The bigger and more relevant the problem you can solve, the greater the financial reward. The difference is simple. Common tasks, like answering phones or making deliveries, are easily outsourced and, therefore, don't pay very well. On the other hand, creating a service that solves a real problem for many people brings huge rewards. Think of entrepreneurs like Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos, or Mark Zuckerberg. They created solutions that changed how we live and were extremely well compensated for it. If you want to build wealth, you need to shift your focus from working for money to solving problems. This doesn't mean reinventing the wheel. Sometimes, it's about improving something that already exists or doing something more efficiently. You could create an app that automates tasks or a service that simplifies people's lives. Opportunities are everywhere, but you need a keen and creative eye to find them. The secret is that solving problems creates value, and the market always rewards those who generate value. Think about how to use your skills to solve challenges that affect people. The greater the impact you make on others' lives, the more money you can earn. This is the essence of entrepreneurial thinking and what sets those who thrive apart from those who merely survive. Now let's talk about something that is often overlooked but is extremely important. Don't waste time on things that have no real value in the practical world. This may seem obvious, but many people spend years studying or working in fields that have no real demand in the market. The problem is that even after investing so much time and effort, they end up finding out that these skills don't offer a significant financial return. The traditional educational system doesn't always prepare people to face the real world. Have you ever seen someone who accumulated a lot of debt studying for a career that doesn't have good job opportunities? Unfortunately, this happens a lot. And it's not just about doing what makes money, but about finding a balance between what you enjoy and what has market value. If your passion isn't financially viable, it might be better to treat it as a hobby and focus on something that can sustain you financially. The wealthy know this very well. They invest their time and energy in learning skills that are highly valued, like programming, sales, marketing, or finance. These are areas the market generously rewards because they solve important problems. On the other hand, spending time studying topics that have little practical application can leave you stuck in a difficult financial situation. It's important to be strategic about how you use your time and in which areas you invest your energy. If you want to thrive, choose skills that are useful and valued. This doesn't mean completely abandoning your passions, but being smart about balancing them with what is practical. Focus on developing competencies that the market needs, and you will be in a much stronger position to achieve financial success and the freedom you desire. Now let's discuss a concept that can transform your financial life: using debt intelligently. Many people fear the word debt because they know the damage it can cause if misused. But the wealthy understand the difference between good debt and bad debt, and this understanding is fundamental to building wealth. Bad debt is the kind that takes money out of your pocket. Think of financing a luxury car or an expensive smartphone. These items only generate expenses and lose value over time. You end up spending more than you earn, creating a cycle of payments with no financial return. In contrast, good debt works as a tool to generate more income. For example, if you take out a loan to buy a rental property or invest in a promising business, you're using that debt to create new growth opportunities. The key is to use debt strategically. Banks and investors are willing to lend money when they see a solid plan for returns. Whenever you think about taking on debt, ask yourself, will this help me make more money in the future, or will it just bring more bills? If it's to generate income, it can be a smart investment. Otherwise, it's better to reconsider. We're almost at the last habit, but before that, I noticed you haven't left a like on this video yet. That's very important for YouTube to keep promoting our content so we can continue helping as many people as possible. It's quick and doesn't cost you anything. Finally, let's discuss one of the most valuable lessons taught by successful people. Don't be afraid of failure. Learn to see mistakes as growth opportunities. The reality is that anyone who seeks to get rich or achieve great things needs to be willing to take risks and accept that, at times, they will fail. This mindset is what separates the rich from those who remain stagnant. The wealthy understand that every failure is a chance to learn and grow stronger. They don't see mistakes as something to be avoided at all costs, but as a necessary step on the path to success. That's why they expose themselves to new experiences, make bold decisions, and when things don't go as planned, they analyze what went wrong and adjust their strategies. This continuous process of trying, failing, learning, and trying again is what leads to growth. On the other hand, people who are afraid of failing often become paralyzed. They avoid making important decisions or seek the safety of what they already know, even if it limits their opportunities. This mindset keeps them from reaching their true potential. If you want to grow, you need to be prepared to face failure and treat it as a lesson, not as an obstacle. The path to success is full of ups and downs, but each fall teaches you something valuable. The more you fail and learn, the more chances you have of finding the right path. Adopting this growth mindset is essential for thriving. So, embrace failure as part of the process and use each experience as a stepping stone to get closer to your financial and personal goals. We've reached the end of our video, and now you have in your hands 15 powerful habits that can truly change your financial life. But before we wrap up, let me emphasize something super important. Don't forget everything we discussed here. These habits aren't just cool tips or things to think about. They are steps that, if you truly apply them, can double your monthly income and finally take away that fear of never being able to save enough money to achieve your dreams. Think about it. Nobody wants to live worried about bills, not knowing if they'll be able to cover expenses at the end of the month or if they'll be able to travel, buy something special, or provide security for their family. That fear can be paralyzing, and the only way to get rid of it is by doing something different, changing your habits. So, don't let this knowledge go to waste. Start applying what you learned today, one step at a time. Thank you for watching this video all the way through. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to the channel to keep receiving more content. See you in the next video.